Greetings, Inspiry fam, and welcome to Love Inspiry YouTube. It's your girl, Angie, the founder of Love Inspiry LLC, where our mission is to build more powerful, more transparent, and more durable relationships. And we do that all through helping couples overcome their relationship adversity, as well as preparing individuals to enter healthy relationships. And speaking of healthy relationships, you have to find the right one to get into that healthy relationship, right? Stick around because that's what this video is all about, finding the right one. Let's talk love. Okay guys, and welcome back to my channel. We are talking about the right one, the right relationship. How do we find the right relationship? What are the things we should be looking for? What should we be talking about? How should we be interacting with people? And we're going to talk about that all in this video. However, I want to talk specifically about some things you need to be looking for when it comes to finding the right relationship. Before we discover finding the right relationship, I want to talk to you specifically about some things that you need to look for in your relationship. I don't care of your ethnicity, what job you have, how old you are. These are things that you really want to look for when it comes to finding a great relationship and finding the best partner for you. So the first thing is companionship, partnership. Nobody really specifically gets into a relationship without wanting that companionship, without wanting that partnership. I mean, if you don't want companionship, if you don't want partnership, what are you getting into the relationship for anyway? Is it benefits? Is it gain? What is it? Everybody wants that companionship and that partnership and to feel appreciated. And then also you should not only want to feel appreciated, you should want to give that appreciation back to your partner. And so companionship is key to finding the right relationship for you. Who is going to show themselves emotionally available to you? Who is going to show that you are valued in the relationship? These are things that you want to look for when it comes to companionship. The second thing you want to look for in your relationship, number 2, is joy and peace. Listen, peace is so significant when it comes to having a joyous relationship and finding the right relationship, right? Because as we know, if you've been through relationship after relationship, you know that everybody does not bring you peace. And even when you're having difficult days, it's key to note that that does not mean that there is no peace within your relationship. Everybody has difficult days. We have difficult days in life, right? That can change the trajectory of our happiness. However, we still have joy within us, especially if you're a Christian. Your happiness may fluctuate, but that joy is always going to live inside of you. And it's the same concept with having peace, joy, fun in your relationship. I know that you want a partner that is going to bring out that spontaneousness, that spicing it up and things like that. That's the joy. Just go on a random trip together, do something spontaneous around the house together. That is the right relationship. That's one of the key components that I talk about actually in our Connect and Beyond Sex ebook to help you understand you have to have fun in your relationship. That is what's going to get you through those trying times on days where you want to quit. The third thing you want to look for when it comes to the right relationship is a relationship that is goal-oriented, okay? You want somebody that's going to add value to your life, as well as, remember, it's two-way, you adding value to their life. You want a quality relationship. You don't want just any type of relationship just to say that you have a relationship. What is this person bringing to you? Whether it is a characteristic of, one thing I love about my husband, I tell people all the time, is his ability to give individuals the benefit of the doubt. I don't have that capability. I never shy away from that. As I always say, if it looks black to me, it's black, people. But my husband has the ability to see beyond black and white. There's a gray area. And so those are things that you need to look for when you talk about adding value, adding quality to somebody's life, having a quality relationship. Goal oriented. Also, what I mean by goal oriented is your relationship goals. What are you striving for together as a couple? Again, If you want to do things separately, individually, if you want to do things, of course you should have personal goals in your marriage too as well. But if you want to do everything separate, what are you together for? What are you what is your companionship about? What is your partnership about? Is it, again, benefits? Is it for gain? Is it for advantage? You have to really think about why you are in this particular relationship. What are you getting out of this relationship? Also, again, I keep harping on it. What are you giving in the relationship? Number 4, you want true love. What does true love mean anyway? I'm talking about respect. I'm talking about devotion. I'm talking about intention. I'm talking about affection. We want all of that. Again, nobody gets into a relationship just to get into, well, you shouldn't get into a relationship just to get into one. You want a quality relationship. Somebody that is going to respect you. Not only respect you, your body, but respect your principles, respect your values, respect your opinions, respect your ideas, right? Because all of this takes up that relationship. You know, when you're throwing out ideas and you're trying to get to your goal, as we talked about in number 3, you need somebody that's going to respect the process of opinions, okay? And I think, side note, I think that's where a lot of our issues come from, is we don't have respect for the person that we are with. And I think, I want to say I have a video out for that. If I do, I will link it above for you. I do apologize if I don't, but I will definitely make one on that. However, you want somebody that's going to do all of that for you, to respect you, devote their time to you. So when you're looking for the right relationship, make sure that you are looking for companionship. Make sure that you are looking for somebody that's going to have a little bit of fun. You don't want anybody stuck up. And also you want to make sure that you find somebody that is goal oriented, not just selfishly, but wanting to add relationship goals into the relationship and conquer things with you. And number 4, we talked about true love, which ultimately means respect. How this person is going to respect you. Definitely want to look for somebody that's going to respect you. Listen, I just want to throw a disclaimer in there, people. The right one, the right relationship does not mean that it's going to be flawless. It just means it has all the ingredients, the components for potential to get you to where, you know, your final destination of until death do us part. Nothing will ever be 100% perfect or 100% accurate or 100% right, because, especially when you're looking at a person, because we are all humans. We fall, we falter, we have flaws, we make mistakes, we do all these bad things every single day, right? But we want somebody that's going to love us beyond those flaws, beyond those faults. I actually have a t-shirt line, love is greater than loving beyond faults. And that's what that means. It means that just because you make a mistake, or just because you have a flaw, or just because whatever it is, doesn't mean that I can't love you. And that's because this relationship is still giving me value. I still have really good companionship. We are still very much goal oriented. We are going to make mistakes. You have to be patient with this person, and you have to be compassionate towards their infractions. The point I'm trying to make is the right relationship is about being purposeful. If you have a purposeful relationship, guess what you can do? You can overcome those stumbles. You can ride through those hiccups. You can knock down those hurdles. You can cross over those barriers, and you can make it until death do you part. But you have to have purpose. So I want to give you 3 easy steps on how to find the right relationship. What you can do right now to find the right person for you. The person that is going to be purposeful and intentional about loving, respecting you, having goals, setting goals with you, accomplishing those goals, right? Because what's a goal if you're not going to make the steps to accomplish it, and all that good stuff. The first step is really simple, and it starts with you. You have to be the right person to be ready for the right person for you. How many people know somebody who is always saying they are have bad luck, or this relationship is not working, and this is that and the third, and it's everybody else but them? You have to ask God to prepare you. You have to be ready for that relationship. It would be really foolish to expect somebody to give something to you that you can't give to them. That's not how a relationship works. A relationship is two-way, guys, two-way. You have to be willing to give and get it in return. You can't just expect to get, take from somebody. And that's what we call benefits and advantage. And that's why relationships end up becoming unhealthy, and they, it's toxicity, and they become unhappy. And then that's where all these things trickle into the relationship, causing everybody to say marriage ain't nothing. And, it's just nothing but a contract and this, that, and the third, because you've been scorned. Be the right person first. But how do we become the right person? WAP. And I'm not talking about Cardi B's WAP. I'm talking about wellness and plans, y'all. Wellness and plans. Kind of corny, but it's relevant to what I'm going to talk about right now. Wellness entails internal healing. It entails self-worth. It entails high self-esteem, right? Because we have to be internally well for us to pour into a relationship the way that we should be able to pour into a relationship. It's not conducive to drag someone into your drama if you know you're full of drama and you haven't done the work to work on that drama. That's not fair to bring somebody into that. So self-healing internally is key. Now, we all come with some kind of baggage, right? We all have a little something that has changed the trajectory of our life or shifted how we view things and how we handle situations. However, that does not mean that it needs to form toxicity into your relationship. That toxicity comes for lack of healing. It comes from lack of self-worth. It comes from lack of self-esteem. And one of my favorite words, lack of self-awareness, right? Because sometimes we can think it's somebody else and we're not really self-aware of what's going on internally, right? So I have this thing, I'm very self-aware of my mistakes, just as well as the good stuff about me. I can say a lot of good things about me, but guess what? I can follow them up with 5 bad things that I need to work on. And that's because I'm intentional about being self-aware and how I can better myself every single day, especially when it comes to counseling and coaching and giving people relationship advice, right? I can't tell you to be self-aware if I'm not going to be self-aware of my actions and things that I can do better. However, everybody does not have that capability to look at themselves and say, what is it about me that can change the situation? And I'm telling you one thing, that's what saved my marriage. Self-awareness. So get you some. So we're back to WAP. We talked about wellness, and now let's talk about plans. One thing that I have found when it comes to coaching single individuals is that people that have plans, that have accomplished their personal goals, are more intuitive in choosing the right person, choosing the right relationship, right? Because you are privy to, or how to find somebody that is going to match your intensity. Now, the reason why some of these relationships don't work out is because people become too picky, or they become too lenient with things. And so that's a whole nother topic that I'm not going to get into right now in this video. But you definitely want to have plans. You definitely want to have a direction of where you're going. I always equate relationships to a journey, traveling down the road. If you don't know where you're going, you need to get some directions. And that's what your plans are, your personal goals. How are you going to achieve them? What are you going to do to get there? And then how are you going to celebrate when you get there? It's okay to celebrate yourself, celebrate your successes, celebrate your accomplishments. That's all good, fine, and dandy. However, you have to have plans. And also, you definitely, not everything, but you definitely want to have accomplished something on your own, something without the relationship, something that, is meaningful to you, that can make up who you are. Definitely want to have something that you accomplish without this person, but also be intentional in accomplishing the goals together in the relationship. The second step in finding the right relationship is identifying what you want. What are you looking for? And listen, I'm not talking about materialistic things. I'm talking about things that are going to last. I have a video out, I will link it somewhere up here, about having a different mindset over material things. You want things that's going to last, like characteristic traits, like goals, value, all those things. Money can go, cars can go, the houses can go, power can go. But if you have the right person and they have integrity, that integrity will always be with that person, even when hardships come. But back to number 2, identifying the right person. identifying what you want from a person. You can't find the right person if you don't know what you're looking for. A lot of people have this idea in their head of this perfect individual, but they don't really know what it is about this perfect individual that you want. Okay, so you may want somebody that is the same religion as you, but what does that really even mean? Just because they have the same religion as you doesn't mean that they have integrity. That doesn't mean that they won't cheat on you. That doesn't mean that they will respect you. There's a lot of Christians out here that are not Christianly. So you have to identify what type of person you want. You have to gain an idea of where you are going to get what you want. And I want you to remember that. You have to gain an idea of where you are going to get what you want. So where are you going? What do you want to do? What do you want from a relationship? Now, remind you, you want that companionship. You want that joy. You want that fun. You want that goal-oriented, being goal-oriented. So you have this idea of what you want from the relationship. How are we going to get there? Like I said, I don't believe in basing a relationship off of materialistics, and that's because the things, like I said, they come and go. And when you can easily do that, then you can easily come and go from the relationship. And so you're not going to be willing to stay when a financial time hits, or stay when there was an infraction made, or stay when this person is really, really getting on your nerves that day. You have to build beyond that. You want to build on things like this person's drive, this person's determination, this person's integrity, this person's relationship ethics. So that's like honesty, that's trust, that's how do you, what do you value most out of a person? And I talk about all this in lesson 1 of the Connecting Beyond Sex workshop of how to build these things into your relationship, the things that you should be asking, the things that you should be talking about in your relationship. The thing is to write down a list of the characteristics that you want in a person. Don't think about money. Don't think about their job. Don't think about because you know what? There may be a person at Burger King that is going to love the heck out of you. Now, they may not be able to provide everything financially for you, but they're going to give you the things that matter. They're going to give you the things that, and just because they're working at Burger King does not mean that they don't have goals, that they're not goal oriented. You have to start somewhere, right? To get to your final destination. You have to start somewhere. It is not where you start, it is where you finish at. And it's also about the journey along the way, the progress that you're making along the way. So don't knock somebody because they're not where you are at that specific time. They can get there. That's coachable. And I talk about that all in the Connecting Beyond Sex workshop. Okay guys, so we have talked about step number 1, which is WAP. First, being the right person. That's your wellness and your plans. Your wellness and your plans. We have also talked about step number two, identifying the right person, right? Because we can't get there if we don't know what we are looking for. So we have to look for things like characteristics. We need to look for their relationship ethics. We need to find out what drives them, what their determination looks like, their integrity, their morals, all these things that you need to take a look at when it comes to finding the right person. What are you looking for in a person directly? And then we have number 3, which we're about to talk about right now, and that's about building your solid foundation. So in the Connecting Beyond Sex online workshop, I talk extensively about the top 3 things and how to build your relationship foundation. The questions you need to ask, the things that you need to go over, the things that you need to know to make sure that your foundation is solid. Now, what I will say is that your foundation is the sturdiness. If you think about the foundation of a building, it's what keeps the building level. It's what keeps the building together. So if winds come or whatever the case may think, if something tries to hit the building, if that foundation is sturdy, guess what? That building is going to last. And that's the same thing that happens in your relationship. You have to have a sturdy foundation. And one thing that I want to talk about when it comes to having a sturdy foundation is the fact that you need to make the time, take the time, don't rush the time in creating that foundation. You can't rush your results because it will show. And then also what will happen is if you miss, like I said in the video last week about moving too fast in your relationship, when you rush your foundation, you miss key steps. Something may happen that can deter you from building that solid foundation. And then now you have to work backwards instead of doing things in the right order to build that solid foundation, that firm foundation that you need to sustain you through the rough times. As you know, like, I'm really passionate right now because my foundation is what got me and my husband through being financially bound, sharing sandwiches, sleeping in motels. I mean, we have been through it financially, but that foundation is what kept us. That foundation is what keeps us. How we built our relationship, the time that we took to build our relationship. We did not rush it just because we've known each other all our lives. That means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. Having a solid foundation, like I said, is about taking your time, trusting the process, being patient in the process of learning who this person is, what they're about, and why they would be significant in your life. Can you build companionship with them? Can you accomplish goals with them? Can you go to the moon and back with them? You guys know what I'm saying. Like, come on. This is where you do all that dirty, nitty gritty work. Your foundation is no joke. I am telling you from experience that this is what's going to keep you, maintain you, sustain you, and all those aim yous, okay? That is what's going to happen in your relationship. I promise you, if you build the right relationship, you will have a long-lasting relationship. Listen, here's the end thing. Nothing worth having will come overnight. Success does not just poof and magically appear up in the air. No, you have to work for that. You have to take the time to build that. You have to take the time to put in the work. And guess what? The same thing applies to your relationship. You have to be willing to put in the work, put in the time to do what you need to do to have a successful relationship. It is not just going to come to you because you are whoever you are, okay? You have to put some effort into it. And that starts with building the right foundation, building on something that is going to last and something that is not temporary. You want to build on permanent things. Okay, fam, we are going to wrap this video up with some highlights of what we discussed today. We talked about the things that you need to have the right relationship. That's companionship. That's joy, which leads to peace. Fun, which leads to peace. That is being goal-oriented. That's having love and respect. We also talked about the 3 important steps to finding the right relationship. That's being the right person. It starts with you, okay? You have to be whole in a relationship. Also, step number 2 is identifying what you want from a person. If you have no direction, you can't get to the right person. So think about those things of what you want, the non-materialistic things, again, of what you want in a person. And we talked about step number 3 of taking the time to build your foundation. That is how you will find the right relationship. Do not rush your relationship. Rushed results equals jacked up quality, and it will show in your relationship because you'll be unhappy and you'll be unsatisfied, and that's how toxicity forms in your relationship. You don't want none of that. So think about these things, and also you can join our Connect Them Beyond Sex. Grab the ebook if you like. It's on sale again for $7.99, or pick up the online workshop if you're ready to dive in and just learn how to build a genuine connection with your partner. So guys, I'll see you all this Sunday in the Breakover series. I believe we are on episode 4. So really excited about the series. We're going to have some special guests at the end. So I'll see you all in the next video. Have a blessed day.